Four Shenandoah police officers and two teens face federal hate crime and obstruction of justice charges this morning.
The officers are accused of attempting a cover-up in the murder case of Luis Ramirez. Ramirez was an illegal immigrant beaten to death last year. Two teens involved in the beating were previously acquitted of the most serious charges earlier this year. Now they face up to life in prison if convicted in this latest round of charges.
The indictments are a victory for many civil rights groups that say Luis Ramirez and his family never got justice. And joining us now over the phone is Gladys Limón of the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund. Gladys, your organization, MALDEF, was one of the groups that helped push the U.S. Department of Justice to take on this case, right?
Yes, good morning, that's correct. We have represented the Ramirez family, advocated on behalf of their interests as surviving family members. We initially became involved in this case and contacted Crystal Dillman and the Ramirez family shortly after July 14, 2008, which is when Luis Ramirez passed away, based on very serious concerns about local officials' initial responses to the crime committed against him, including issuing public statements which clearly rushed to the defense of the criminals. There was a delay in the investigation and charges, and there were also early indications of obstruction of justice and possible tampering with evidence. We initially traveled to Shenandoah. We held a national press conference to demand that charges be filed. We also called on the Department of Justice and the FBI to launch their independent investigation, which they swiftly did thereafter. And we also held a unity vigil to bring diverse members of the Shenandoah community together in an attempt to create a space where people can speak with one another about this horrendous crime that had just occurred and had created racial tensions in the town.
Well, we know that the officers have pleaded not guilty, and we do know that the two popular football players in this case are now serving time in the Schuylkill County Prison. But you mentioned Crystal, who was engaged to Luis Ramirez, and with the indictments from yesterday, do you feel that she's encouraged now a little bit more?
I think yesterday she was just overwhelmed and feeling a range of emotions. She's cautiously optimistic. This past year and a half has been extremely difficult for her and the rest of the family. During the time that she was mourning and grieving over this loss, she also had to very courageously fight for justice. While she's been experiencing a lot of anguish as the holidays approach, she now feels that the federal indictments will grant them some measure of peace this Christmas and finally allow justice to prevail, or at least allow the opportunity for that to happen.
Okay, we know that there's still much more to come on both sides in this case, but we do appreciate you joining us this morning. Gladys Limón, who is representing the Ramirez family. Gladys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.